guys, it's your girl Antonia. We out here in Amped Up Live. As you can see, we have Michael Charles in the building. Your
Hey,
credit success partner. He's your credit guru. He's here to help you out with your credit.
yes.
Well, thank you so much. I want to thank you again for coming here. But what was your reason to be here on Amped Up Live?
It's to provide value to the community. At the end of this podcast, I want to give people some tangible resources that they can use to leverage, to one, build their credit, two, leverage their credit, and three, start something new, start a new business. So if you guys watch to the end, trust me, you want to watch to the end. We're going to have so much nuggets here that's going to be able to take you to the next level.
Yes. So explain to me, how important is credit?
I believe that credit is actually the most important thing that you can think of as far as if you want to get your life in order and getting, housing, getting your apartment, anything really in general. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, everywhere you go, credit is involved. Even looking for a job, your credit is involved. So I think that's something that we should prioritize in our life, especially if you want to be successful and growing in other areas outside of just being stagnant where you're at right now.
What got you into credit repair? Is it credit repair, or is it credit, like what is exactly that you handle?
Well, I run a credit repair company, right?
Nice.
But I also like to educate individuals on the three pillars of credit, right? It's one, repairing it, boosting it, and leveraging credit.
Okay.
So I teach individuals how to leverage credit, whether it's to be able to buy a home, be able to get funding for your business, being able to just really take advantage of other people's money. And by other people, I mean the banks. So the banks have a boatload of money and they're willing to give it to you. You just have to give them a reason why.
Right. Now, what got you involved into this?
Really, if I think about it, me getting into credit came by just getting told no, right? I didn't really start off with good credit. A lot of people don't, right? And it's not something that's taught in school, not something that we go through and we got a class that teaches us. It's something that we have to learn on our own. And once I started to get into positions to where I wanted things in my life and I kept being told no, and the reason why was this letter I get in the mail after like 14 days saying you were denied for this reason, you were denied for that reason. That allowed me to just dive in deep and see and really understanding why. And once I started becoming knowledgeable about the things of what's involved in getting approvals and actually getting approved for things, I started feeling a lot better, and I started getting even more interested in learning about credit and teaching other people how to do it for themselves too.
So where is home?
Home is Palm Bay for right now.
Nice.
So I'm in Brevard County. I'm local here. I've been here for about 12 years now.
Nice.
So I came from Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. So shout out to the Dolphins for the last win. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, being here in Brevard County compared to Fort Lauderdale, obviously it's a lot of compared to there, Fort Lauderdale is pretty busy. You have a lot more opportunities when it comes to finances compared to being here. Now, explain to me, like, what were you about to say? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, it is a lot busy, and that's one of the reasons why I moved from Fort Lauderdale over here.
Yeah.
Slowing things down a little bit, right? Starting realizing what's important and what's not important in life. So, being young, I know at Fort Lauderdale, Miami, there's a party every other day, and I honestly remember just being out there from Thursday to Sunday. I was out there. The other days of the week, I was doing my 9 to 5, and it felt like I was in a rat race, right? I was never able to get out, never able to get ahead, especially with the expenses that was going on. So I really was living to pay bills at the end of the day, right? So once I got to a point where I said, I need to make change, and the opportunity to do so was to come here in Palm Bay where I had family members. So I made the sacrifice and said, you know what, I'll stay with them for a couple of months and figure things out a little bit and get my life started, right? Restarted it again. And when I did that, I hated it. I promise you.
Oh my goodness.
I moved out here, and the first 6 months was a time that I was driving every other weekend down south to party because I still was in that mindset, right? So what happened was a car accident told me, it basically got
Slow down.
Slow down. Yeah. At the end of the day, God was like, yo, you gotta figure things out. And from that point forward, I started to get my perspective of life in order. Listen, if you're tired of being denied for funding because of bad credit, then this message is for you. Trust me, I get it. Being turned down by banks isn't just frustrating, it's a roadblock to building the life or business you've been dreaming of. At RSC Credit Freedom Solutions, I've seen this happen to countless entrepreneurs and individuals. But the good news, there's a way out. We've helped so many people just like you go from being stuck with poor credit to transforming their scores and unlocking 5 to 6 figures in funding. And it's not as complicated as it seems when you have the right support. I want you to be the next success story. Right now, I'm offering you a free guide, The Key to Unlock Funding, which is easy steps to improve your financial health. This guide will show you the steps to improve your credit and put you on the path to secure funding. So click the link above or below, grab your free guide, and let your credit work for you. Your success story starts right now.
Oh, I get that for sure. Sometimes it takes that one, incident to make you reanalyze anything and everything. Now, I understand with credit, you need to have a little bit of financial literacy, correct?
When it comes,
or is it too late? Because I feel like even when maybe I have like a judgment on when it comes to credit repair or credit services. Is that a time where is it too when people reach out to you? Is it like last minute? Is it too late, or should they be reaching out to you beforehand, or should they know a little bit about financial literacy or finances?
And I think that's in life altogether. We wait till we need something before we do something about it, right? And by that point forward, you need, it's like basically you need a blood transfusion last week. And right now you're over here trying to find an answer. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen that quickly, right? Especially with credit. If it took you this long to mess it up, it's not going to be a quick fix. A lot of people are seeking out those, and there's ways to fix your credit, really fast, but there's wrong ways of doing the right thing, right? And there's nothing wrong, and there's nothing wrong with being in a bad situation right now and not trying to seek answers or trying to seek a solution. It's never a time that's too late, but I always recommend don't wait till you need it before you try to get to it, right? Learn it and have the opportunity available to you when it presents itself. So, as an example, right now we're going through a real shift in our economy where things are just getting expensive, right? Housing is getting expensive, and we're talking about going through a recession right now. If anybody's old enough, back in 2008, we went through a recession and things started to go down. Like people was losing houses, people was losing jobs. Everything was just extremely expensive, and there was opportunities in the financial market, right, where you could leverage credit to be able to get things in that, right? So why wait till the time has come for you to do that? Why not prepare yourself for that time? So if you get yourself in a position to be able to leverage your credit, then you'll be able to get multiple houses, you'll be able to get multiple cars for your business, you'll be able to get funding or financing for your business by just being prepared.
Now, how do you prepare someone that is, living paycheck to paycheck? Maybe their credit is not what it wanted to be. Maybe it's in the 500s. They're struggling. They're in debt. How would you approach that?
I would say set up a goal, right? If you are living paycheck to paycheck, if you don't really have access or anything at all going for you right now, is to set a goal, right? Once you have a goal, you will set your life to that goal, right? A lot of people, it will have a dream or something, but really just never write it down. I believe in having a vision board, be like, okay, this is my goal. And then from that step forward, you go ahead and take the steps to do that, right? So the first step really when it comes to credit, if we're going to stick on the credit side of things, is to know what's on your credit. 80% of people don't know this, 100% people don't know this, but 80% of Americans have inaccuracies on the credit report. And the inaccuracies on your credit report is what really is causing you to have the credit that you have right now. And if you are not aware that you have something wrong on there that shouldn't be there, then you're just going to have it let it sit. It's going to either sit for 7 years if it's a collections. You're going to have it sit for 2 years if it's an inquiry, and so in bankruptcies and so forth. A lot of those things are illegal to have on your credit report. People don't know that.
Illegal?
Yeah. So
what?
Let's say, for instance, a third-party collector.
Okay.
Third-party collector cannot, you cannot owe a third-party collector a debt that you don't have any agreements on it, right? So your debt is sold, let's say, for instance, your debt is sold to a collection company, quote unquote, a collection company. They're calling you to pay a debt that you never had a contract with them. So by that alone, that's violating some laws. And by them reporting on your consumer report, because it is your consumer report, a report that represents you, you owe a debt to somebody that you don't know anything about.
Wow.
You never signed a contract to.
Yeah.
You don't owe that debt. So it's a way for them to basically attack your ignorance, right? Not saying anybody's stupid, but ignorance is my definition of saying you don't know something, right?
Correct.
You don't know what you don't know at the end of the day. And a lot of people are intimidated or threatened or harassed to the point to where they feel like they need to pay this debt. A lot of the times when you have companies that do end up putting you in collections, they make an attempt to collect from you. Let's say AT&T, just to throw out a company name out there. They made all efforts, they're not able to collect it, and they sell your debt. They sell the debt for pennies to the dollar. So you have $1,000 debt. They may have sold it to the third-party collector for $100. So how do you owe that third-party collector $1,000 when they just bought your debt for $100? Right? So a lot of those nuances come into credit. It's not as black and white as that. There's some other things that you need to look into to really find out if they truly do have the right to collect from you. But 9 times out of 10 they don't have the right to collect from you, and you don't have no obligations to pay them. Wow. And by you taking action and disputing either directly with them or the credit agencies, you have the opportunity to remove that from your debt, remove that from your credit report, and putting you in a better position to get approvals.
So would a regular consumer like me do that, or would I have to contact you to get in contact with, just disputing it? I'm sure I could go directly to it, but what do you recommend?
I recommend getting knowledge first, right? Figuring out things first. Right. But everything that I'm doing, and just being I'm about full transparency. Everything that I can do, you can do for yourself.
Did you go to school for this or anything? Oh, wow.
This all happened by me, again, getting the knowledge and educating myself and taking the time to learn this information. And it's not something, again, being taught in school, because I feel like the school education, the system as a whole,
the government doesn't want us to, get further in life. So credit, that's where they want us to be. Always in debt. America is debt. We're always going to be in debt, I feel.
Always in debt. And it's more advantageous for them for you to have bad credit than it is for you to have good credit. So whatever's in their benefit is what's going to what they're going to push out, right? The narrative that they're going to push out. A lot of the things that we are prone to we use credit, but we never leverage credit, right? So when we get a credit card or get approved for a store card like a Macy's or whatever, there's a 30% tax that's tied into it, or a 30% interest rate that's tied into it. For every $100 that you pay, you're going to have to pay $30 on that. That's money in their pocket. And the higher your credit, the higher your interest rate is, right? So the better your credit, the lower your interest rate is. I have a lot, me personally, I have a lot of credit cards that I have low interest rates on. Car notes I have low interest rates on, but it didn't start that way. My first car was I think it was like a 30% interest rate on that first car. It was bananas. I looked at the payment list and how long I was going to be in that loan for, how much I was going to pay. It was like a $5,000 car. I was going to pay $15,000 at the end of the loan. It was ridiculous at that point. So, and that was me just coming straight out of high school, not having a backing of credit to represent who I am as a person. Right. Never missed a payment, never did anything. But at that time, I was still paying way more than I should have or needed to. And it comes from that. So your credit history determines your credit worthiness, and your credit worthiness determines how much you get to pay for whatever you're trying to borrow or trying to leverage.
So what was life growing up?
Life growing up?
How was it?
I grew up against South Florida was the main portion I grew up. I wasn't born there. I was born in Haiti, so I'm Haitian born. So born in Haiti, raised in the Bahamas, and then when I was 5, I moved up over here to Florida. Nice. I grew up with my mom. It was a time, man. My mom was a hard worker, so always working 2 jobs. Somebody I always saw just doing the best that she could to be able to provide for us, right? And it would have a lot of siblings, and every sibling that even my father.
What's a lot? How many?
Don't do that to me.
Say it.
Don't do it to me.
10.
More than that on my father's side and my mother's side. So yeah.
Your mom's Haitian too?
My mother's Haitian. My father's Haitian.
Okay, so your mom gave birth to more than 10 kids?
No. My mom gave birth to 5 kids. So my father is.
That's different.
It's a little fun. It's a little funny situation for me. So both my parents they met at a young age. They had their little thing, whatever, right. And they did this thing, and I came out. So everybody's happy. They're happy. I'm happy.
Yeah, I get it.
On my mother's side, I have 4 siblings. On my father's side, I got 12 that I know of. So,
Okay,
you know,
okay,
I say that
Big
I know
Dad.
say that I know of because my father was a Rolling Stone. So,
Right. Is he still here?
yeah, he's still
Yeah,
here. He's still
in
here.
America?
No, he's not in America. He's in the Bahamas right now. So he travels back
Nice.
and forth,
From
and
here
yeah.
to Bahamas, does he ever go back to Haiti?
Not really, not
No,
really.
so
It's
you
just
probably haven't been back either.
I haven't been back for years. Definitely since I was a kid. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay. You
yeah.
just have family there?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it seems I'm not really that connected. And I'll be honest, I'm not that connected with all the family there. You know, if they come by, hey, what's up? You know, we hang
Yeah.
out. Y'all want to go out? Yeah,
Oh,
we're
of
good.
course.
But
How, do you cook? Is the
do I
question.
cook?
Do you cook some good Haitian
That's
food?
one thing my mother lacked on. I don't cook good Haitian food. I can
Yeah.
cook Haitian food. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't the best chef out there.
Okay.
But I do enjoy me a good meal. I
And
enjoy me a good Haitian meal.
what's usually your good Haitian meal?
My favorite would be legume. So it's
Ooh.
It's like vegetable stew with white rice and black beans. So legume,
Mm.
you know, if anything, that's if you can make that on point, then I'm here for it.
Okay, okay,
So.
okay. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself in a position to be an influence, not only for my community but for the world.
Right.
An example of where we can start from and then where we can go to, right? So I always see myself in a position of growth, of expansion, to be better than I was yesterday, right?
Nice.
Not, you know, I don't look, you know, that far out to say, okay, this is exactly what I'm doing, but I just know I'm going to be better than what I am today.
Yes.
Because I'm always in a position of learning, growing, and being a sponge to knowledge and information.
I love that. Do you have any mentors?
Yes, I have mentors in every aspect of my life, and I realize that having mentorship is key to success, not only for being able to have guidance, but also to fast track your success. So, being able to leverage information from people that's been there 5, 10, 20 years ago, then it allows me to skip a lot of the hurdles that I would be going through by trying to do it by myself. So starting, let's say, as an example, entrepreneurship, it's a hard battle, right?
Yeah.
You know, especially if you don't know what you don't know, right, at the end of the day. But if I can be able to communicate or talk to or take lessons from somebody that's been there before, I can skip all those levels that I would have to, you know, fight through to get where I'm at right now.
Give me a list of people, or maybe your top 3 people you kind of
Get knowledge from or
Yeah.
information. My top mentor is especially a mindset coach that removed a lot of barriers for me is Myron Golden. I've been part of his it's a King Solomon's Court. It's his inner circle in a sense. So it's one of the top tiers, one of the best investments I can say I've made. And at the end of the day too, before I continue, a lot of the mentorship that you're getting, for me personally, I had to pay to play, right? So for me to be able to interact or get close to these top tier level mentors, I had to pay to be in the room at the end of the day, right? But that put me in position to be able to do the things that I'm doing right now. I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for that. So one of the mentors that I have is Myron Golden. Like I said, he taught me a lot of business strategies.
How do you say his name?
Myron Golden.
Myron Golden.
Yeah, Myron Golden. Definitely, he's local in Tampa Bay, Florida.
Nice.
So you guys look him up. He's definitely great. Another mentor of mine was Haitian CEO Herman Dose. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Wow, no.
He basically he's taught me a lot about credit, but more so on the business side, right? The business funding side taught me a lot of the business credit. Now, when starting a business, getting my personal credit in line was great, but when I started to get my business credit in line, I started going to the next level of things. This is where you can talk about getting $50,000 in funding, $100,000 in funding, and being able to leverage a lot of the assets on the business side. Because if you don't realize, especially during the pandemic, a lot of businesses were getting bailed out versus the people, right? So individuals, we were getting maybe $1,400 checks for stimulus checks, right?
Yeah.
$1,400, but businesses was getting $20,000,
Wow.
$50,000. The PPP loans, businesses were being able to do that, but you as an individual, you weren't able to do that.
Right.
So that's opened my eye to say I need to have my own business.
Right.
I need to start my own business, right? And I started to understand what having a business really meant, and that meant putting yourself in position to be able to capitalize on the economy, right? So, and a lot of that is building relationships with the right people and banks are the right people to build relationships with. So I've been doing that lately, and it's been doing me really well and teaching other people how to do that. Because when it comes to having a business is great, or wanting to start a business is great, because a lot of people have the idea, they just don't know how to do that, right? And it starts with one, structuring your business, two, being able to have the capital in your business, and three is just going out there and doing it. Because saying you want to do it is one thing, but actually going out and do it is another thing.
Yes. Preach. You clearly know a lot. But, and it's great to have people around like you to teach and educate others that are lacking that. Just that little bit of information can take someone, to the next level, just like you said. So, which brings me to now business credit. Now, a lot of people can get to that level to where their credit is taken care of, but how can they educate themselves or get over that hurdle to where they can actually invest into their business from the banks or build that relationship with the banks?
It's structure. I think structure is the first part of it, right? Okay. A lot of us, especially in this community, we have businesses but never really established it. Never went to the Secretary of State and made it into an actual LLC business or corporation or wherever stage that you're in. It's okay to be a sole proprietor, but once you actually establish your business, you're telling the world that this is something that's real, this is something that's tangible, right? And that's the first part, is really just establishing a business. But it doesn't just start with that. You have to have a plan in place when you start your business, and separating it from your personal life, right? Getting your personal life in order is one step. Your business is also another step, in treating it like its own person. And I recommend that you go through certain steps. You go through a few steps before doing that, right? One, coming up with a business name is important, and not just any regular business name. You just got to have a business name that is structured in a way to where it doesn't list you as a high risk, right? And a lot of that it comes with having a trucking business, having a real estate business, having a credit repair business in itself. A lot of people are proudful, and they really want to have their what they do in there, and sometimes you want to stay away from doing that, right? So instead of me having a quote unquote credit repair business as my business name, which put me as a high risk, which limits my credibility when it comes to building relationships with banks, I recommend just having like enterprise, consulting or coaching or something type in your business to really allow you to just stand out. Another step into that is really having having your own business address, right? A lot of times we use our personal address to start up our business, but that personal address ties back to you. When you are going out or when people are searching you out, you don't look as credible, because when they Google search you, you come up as come up as your home address. And there's ways around that. Even though if you are working from your home, there's ways to do that. You can get a virtual address, and they're very inexpensive. There's a couple of options out there, and I'll drop them out here too. Options, Opus.com is a way that you can get a virtual address where you don't even have to physically be there. Your mail can be delivered to you or delivered there, and then you just forward it right to your personal address. One that I use is Anytime Mailbox. It's $10.99 for a virtual address that you can just locally just find one that's close here and have that labeled on your business. Now, when they Google search your business, that address pops up. You have a professional office that comes up. Off paper, you look like you're a professional business right there. So
that's sick. Nice. So you have those 3 steps together. Then what would you do next? You don't have credit for your business. Will that just roll over because you have good credit on yourself, or how would you establish credit for your business?
For a new business, once you open a new business, business doesn't have credit, right? So this is why the first step of making sure that you have good personal credit is important, because you can leverage your personal credit into your business to start things off. You can take the time to grow your personal your business credit, but the business credit, it takes time. A lot of banks, they require you to have 2 years of age. You have to be 2 years or older. You have to show revenue. You have to show that you are able to borrow the money and so forth, and your business has to be fully operating. You have so much steps that goes into it. When as a startup business, you as long as you have good personal credit, there's ways that you can build relationships by having you as a personal guarantor. If you don't know what that means, a personal guarantor is just you saying that you are responsible for the debt as the business owner, and based off of your history, the banks or lending company will be able to allow you to borrow from them. And
Wow.
and this is not just theory, this is facts. So this is something that I decided to test out myself. So a couple of years ago, that I ended up buying a couple of cars under my business, solely under my business name. And it's something that I just opened up a brand new business just to test, see it out, because I've been learning these things. And again, like, this is why I say it's about action. You can have an idea, but it's actually going out and doing it. So I wanted to go ahead and do that. So I funded myself based off of my business, and I also was able to leverage assets under my business. So I was able to get a couple of cars, going to the dealership saying, no, I don't want this on my personal, I want this under this business. They said, oh, this business is only 2 weeks old. That's fine. My personal credit was able to back it up. So
Wow.
I was able to walk out the car lot, 2 brand new cars, 0 money down, and was able to take those cars, rent them out, and they're paying for themselves now.
That's sick. Wow. So you're renting out vehicles literally just after 2 weeks of opening your credit or your
Business.
Your business
Yeah.
credit. That's insane.
Yeah.
Inspiring. Now, what are some challenges you face, obviously, throughout the time of you trying to trial and error?
It's truly the denials and not knowing what path to go down, right? So in general, once you get a no, you kind of get discouraged and you don't want to continue anymore. So
Right.
I had to get over that mental hump that I'm going to figure this out. And I had to take the time to really go through the iterations of life and figure it out, because this was a goal not for myself, but a goal for my family, a goal for legacy, and a path that I needed to go down, because I knew that where I was at is not where I wanted to be in life.
Right.
And I wanted more than what was given to me, and I had to take what I wanted. So
Right.
for me to do that, I had to go past the no's until I got the yeses that I needed to get.
Wow, that's beautiful. Inspiring. It really, really, truly is. It makes me want to just do more and educate myself more, especially behind credit history or just in general.
Yeah, and I want people to really feel that too, because it is possible. There is I think a mindset of scarcity, that there's just not enough in the world, or scared living to where I just can't do it. But
Right.
you can. It's never too late. It's never too early. The right now is the time that you need to really just take action on what you need to do, right? Because a 9 to 5 ain't going to do it. At the end of the day, be real with you, it's not. And I've been in a position to where I've always had a stable job, right? I've been working since I was 16 years old. I never stopped, and I've always had a job. And having that mindset of seeing my parents go what they had to do. I had to work with my dad. Like, he was a carpenter, so he used to build houses, he used to do driveways, he used to do all of it, and then he used to have to take me to work, and seeing that and being able and actually working it. I was like, dude, I cannot do this. So I was proud of the things that they did, but I also knew, and I was also taught that I'm doing this for you to be better and do better, right? So that's always been something that's been on my heart, to be better and do better, and I want to pass that on to my kids. So the more I do, the more I expect them to do, and be able to get on with life. So
Just to get that out there and to pass it down generation to generation. We need that, especially in the times we're in today.
Yeah.
It's a little unfair, especially when it comes to teaching our kind or just, in general.
Yeah, and just call a spade a spade. At the end of the day, our especially the Black community, we're gentrified to a position to where we're always around an environment to where we're only allowed to see what they want us to see, right? And stepping out of that, it's fearful, and we are scared to do those things because we're so comfortable of where we're at right now. And I will say this, or this, not me saying this, but this is something in the Bible that I always stand on, is that our people perish because of lack of knowledge. We're not taught these things. We're not in environments. We're not in the rooms that are out there teaching those things, or that are talking about these things. By being open to put yourself in those positions, you're opening yourself for greater. So don't be scared to go to the meetings. Don't be scared to go to the networking events. Don't be scared to go to the conferences where they're talking about finances or talking about medical stuff or talking about anything to make you a better person. Don't be scared to do that. Don't feel like you're in a position to like, I can't do it because of where I came from. I can't do it because of where I'm at right now. No, step out and do something. Because that's the only way that you can get better is to really just go out there and take action.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love that. Well, I mean, nowadays people are clueless. The only thing they have is the propaganda, the media showing them the direction of what to take. And I'm sure growing up you had to, search and fend for yourself. What are some advice you can give to somebody that's really trying to find a direction and have that mentality to be self-efficient or just have the drive to better themselves?
If you have the drive, I think you need to come with questions and know who to ask those questions to, right? You have to seek a mentor. That's what I had to do. That's what I had to do really, again, to fast track my success. Find somebody that can teach you what you're looking to do, right? There's so much available out there, and be willing to learn is the first step, right? The teacher will show up when the student is available or something like there's a saying like that. So once you become a student and you're wanting to learn, then the person that's willing to teach you will show up. You start seeing things that you've never seen before that's been right in front of your eyes. So I don't know if anybody has been in a position, or if you've ever been in a position like you got a new car or you wanting a new car, you start seeing it and then you start seeing it everywhere, right?
Yes.
Those cars have always been there.
Yeah.
So and also here's a concept or a mindset or something I heard a while back ago, right? If I asked you how many red cars that you pass today, would you be able to give me the answer?
No.
I'm pretty sure you passed a lot of red cars today, right?
Yes.
But if I told you next time that you hop on the road, for every red car that passes by you, I'm gonna give you $10. Would you pay attention now to every car that passes by, right?
Yeah.
So that shows you that things are driving around us every day. Things are going around us. We're just not paying attention to those. If you have an intention to what you're looking for, it will come out. So if you have an intention to look for a red car, you'll see all the red cars that pass you. So if you have an intention to look for an opportunity, you'll see those opportunities as they come by. For real estate investors or investors looking for distressed properties, when they're driving around neighborhoods, they're not just driving around, neighbors that drive around. They're literally looking around and saying, "Oh, snap, this and that." When I became business owners and I started to look at marketing practices and strategies, I started noticing billboards. I never noticed billboards before, and now I saw the benefits of having a billboard out there. T-shirts, having things where you're representing yourself. So the opportunities are always in front of you, is based off of what you're looking at.
Yes. Preach. Michael Charles.
Mike Charles. You can put the names together. Some people are Mike Charles.
Mike Charles. Pastor Mike Charles.
Yes, sir.
I love that. Okay. How do one approach funding when it comes to either for themselves or for the business per se?
It's actually accessible. It's out there. It goes back to the limiting mindset, right? That you got to work for everything that you need in life, and time is money, right? People always expect, or if you've ever heard that before, that time is money. Well, time is worth more than money. And we have to cherish time more than our money, and that means we have to be able to use our time to access more of it, in my opinion. So being able to get funding and not having to use your own money to be able to start your business is something that I want to teach people. And it's not just about getting money. Anybody can get money, but it's how you use money, right? We live in a community or a mindset to where we use money, but we don't leverage money, right? The cars that I talked about earlier, the cars are weren't there just for me to show off and say, oh, I got 2 new cars or I got cars sitting in the parking lot. No, they're there to make money, right? They pay for themselves. Yeah, they're servicing themselves.
Yeah.
So if you're going to leverage money, if you're going to that next high level of being able to leverage $50,000 or $100,000 in funding, that next level comes with a mindset. So I always tell people you have to go in with a plan in place. If you go in with a plan in place, I can help you get the money. That's the easy part, right? Or you can get the money yourself and take the time to learn it. But when it comes to having a mentor or somebody that's been there, we can guide you through the process.
Nice.
So you can skip all of that, all the denials and everything that I had to go through to, to get approved. So when it comes to that being able to get approved, once you have that, what are you going to do with it? That's the next step. That's what you need to start off. You need to have, right? So having that vision board, that goal in place is what you need. And from there, having all the other little pieces that will just build itself down the line. But once you have the goal in place, it's going to just line up for you down, across the way.
So give me a scenario. Say, for instance, someone has a business and they haven't really pushed it or marketed, enough for them, and they want to get it out there. They want to get funding, but they haven't really went the route to get, the business credit, but they have all their stuff down in line and, business, the LLC, everything together. How would you?
If you already have your business in place,
and their personal credit is not good, how would you would say?
The personal credit is not good. I would still take the step of making sure that you still building relationships with bank, but first fix your personal credit.
Correct.
That's key. That's golden, right? That's not only going to help you on your business side, but that's going to help out with a lot of things on your personal side, with being able to get in a house, getting out of the position that you're in, paying high insurance car rates, paying high interest rates on your credit cards, being able to cut that, right? Because that leads into debt, right? So and bad debt, right? There's nothing wrong with debt, but there's bad debt. That's a problem. But if you are a business owner and you are looking to get funding, your first step that you need to do, if you already have a business, is to open a business bank account. A lot of us don't have that, and I'm realizing we're still using our personal bank accounts. There are business accounts that you are able to open that doesn't cost you $1, that can puts you in a position to build relationships with the banks, because banks have gradings, or they have ratings that can determine your approval, and they can't rate you if they don't know you. So having a business account and seeing the money flow through there, seeing how you operate as a business, allows them to grade you in a way to where you can now start asking them for money, right? It's like dating before marrying, right? Dating them is having an account, having a checking savings account. Marrying them is asking them for money, because you're using their money and not yours. And the way that you build that is the way that you build a grade system or a rate system with the banks is to have a relationship with them for at least 90 days. The banks go into 90-day cycles to where they grade you based off of your operations and what's happening. You don't have to have a lot of money in there, but you have to have money flowing through there, and you have to have activities. And once you have that, you can then now ask for money, right? So, and it's also about dating the right people. It's not dating the wrong people, dating the right people. You just can't go to any banks. You have to find the ones that are going to benefit you, right? So it's about quality, not quantity at some points. I think I used this analogy before. It's not about it's not about how many people you date. It's about the right people that you date, right? The people that you date, that determines on how far you get in life. You can date 1 million people out there in the world, right? But like if you're, if it ain't going to take you anywhere, then you just wasted time.
Yeah.
So anytime that I date a bank, I look at them and I see what can I get from you and what can you get from me, right? So it's all about a relationship. This is one little hack I'm going to tell you. There's banks out there that you just don't even know about, right?
Yeah.
We just look at our regular Chase, our regular Truist banks, our regular Navy Federal Credit Unions, and not realize there's so much banks out in the world.
Yeah.
And there are websites out there that you can actually see, find that information for, and you can find those banks. And there is a bank specifically that I just actually started building a partnership with them. Like I said, I call the banks my partner. They are my partner because I see areas to where I can leverage them. And the bank is called Grasshopper Bank. People won't even realize that, right? Google Grasshopper Bank, and they'll pull up. They give you 2.5 interest on your checking account. A bank that gives you interest, that money is in your check. Imagine money that's in savings accounts. You build a relationship with that. They're giving you money while you're just putting money in there, right? And then on top of that, when it's time for you to actually seek out funding, based off of your relationship with them on the checking side, they may be able to give you $35,000 in funding.
Wow. And how long have you been with them for?
I just opened an account because I just found them, right? So
when? How long ago?
like 2 months ago.
Nice.
So they give me 2.5 interest on the account that I have, and that's just money that I have sitting on savings, right?
Nice.
And also, when it comes to the credit cards or anything, I look at the introductory benefits that they have. So a lot of cards, American Express, they give you about $800 on the gold card for just opening an account with them and using their money. I was going to use the money anyway, so I might as well just open a checking credit card company, credit card account with them. So there's some other banks out there. There's so many banks. It's just about finding the reason why you're going with them, and then being able to just take advantage of that, right? If it's a 0% interest. So if you're looking for funding, quick funding on a unique need where you just need quick cash, there's a bank that gives you 0% interest on any type of money that you borrow from them, right? So you can get credit cards, and they call this credit stacking. So where you get credit cards from multiple companies where it only shows up as one inquiry on your credit report. So you can get a credit card from a bank, let's say like Navy Federal. Navy Federal can give you a maximum of $25,000. I know this because I've gotten myself and other people $25,000 in funding.
Wow.
Somebody who does not have major credit profile. And like I said, it's not about how many people you date, it's about what's on your profile. So if you have the right things on your profile, you're able to get access to that money. A lot of us, I'm pretty sure, a good portion of people, their first card is their Capital One credit card.
Right.
They're always mailing something out to you, right? So it's like the guy in your DM that's always texting you.
Yeah.
That's not the company that you want to go with first.
Ooh.
You want to go with the bank that is going to benefit you, that's going to give you a benefit. And the benefit is not a $200 secured credit card. The benefit is me getting points for every dollar that I use, me getting a introductory bonus. I'm going to pay you to start a relationship with you. Right? Those type of banks are the ones that you want to go with, right? So those are what you need to look for, not the one that's always sending you in the mailbox, please sign up with us, please do it, and then when you get in there, you're paying them to start a relationship. So, that's not the way that you want to go about it. And there's ways to get to that, and it doesn't take much. You don't have to have a perfect credit score to do this. A lot of the things that I'm telling you that I've done, I did it with a 680 credit score.
Wow.
I did it with and again, it's based off of what you have on your credit. It's not what your score is or just having so much things on there. So with a minimum 680, you can get access to thousands of dollars.
Whoa, I did not know that. Okay. Now, did you read any books, or do you read any books? How do you feel about the book world?
I do read some books. I have I find myself reading more and doing Audible a little bit more. So when it comes to books, I read Atomic Habits. That's one book that stand out.
Nice.
And I would have to look up the names, man.
I get it.
Yeah. But
so if you had to meet 3 people today, who would you pick?
Today?
Yeah, not today, but like nowadays, that you haven't met, that you were, you've been looking forward to meeting to help you in life, mentally, spiritually, or anything,
3 individuals that I would be very interested in meeting. I think I would have a very interesting conversation with Alex Hormozi. I love his drive. I love his tenacity and his viewpoint on life. And being able to pick his brain for a little bit is something that I would love to do. Another person that I would love to meet. Ooh, that is tough. A lot of people. That is tough. That is a tough question. I usually don't even think about that. But like,
I got you choked up because I knew you were so prepared to answer the questions, but you were ready to answer. But I'm like, let's switch it up a little bit.
Yeah,
let's get a little personal.
Yes, yeah.
Well, you come back. We'll talk about this next time. I'm pretty sure you're going to be back on the show.
Jesus is on my mind, but I don't want to meet Jesus. If I meet Jesus, it's kind of like, it's kind of random. But I don't. I don't really have anybody on top of my mind.
Think about that. Okay. So if you had one advice to give to somebody today, it could be about anything, anything, credit relating, funding, anything, personal, spiritual, religious, anything.
Find your why, right? Find out what's going to take you to the next level and why you want to do it, right? Everybody has a dream in place or whatever and, goal, but what is your why? If you cling on to that why, you will actually move forward and do it. So if it's your kids, you want to do it for your kids, keep that why in front of you, because every time that you get in a position where it gets tough, then it's going to push you even further. A lot of people, look for things to get easy. I look at things to get better, right? So situations may come harder as you get further in your journey. It's going to get harder as you get older. Life gets harder because more responsibility comes your way. Don't look at life at a way to make things easier. Look at life as a way to get better, to get stronger, and to really put yourself in a position to where you're in control and not allowing somebody else to be in control.
Yes, sir.
I want to get people in a position to where they are able to start this journey themselves, right? Without having to pay somebody $1. First step, again, is your credit. Figure out what's on your credit. And I promise you, if you do this, it's absolutely free. You'll be surprised at the things that pop up that you wouldn't even know that was there, right? So actually pull up your credit report. You can do this at annualcreditreport.com. It's completely free. It's a one-time a year fee that you can able to do that for free, and you pull it up just to see what's going on in there. Once you start noticing it, and once you start seeing everything that's on there, you can put yourself in a position to circle all the incorrect information. And here's a little side note. You don't need me to do the disputes. You can do the disputes yourself. The little things that you notice that's on your credit report that are incorrect, there's a new tool out there that I don't even think it's new. It's been out there for a while. ChatGPT. A lot of people don't talk about that.
Right.
Use ChatGPT. ChatGPT can write you your own letter. That can write your letter for you. Find all the incorrect information. Just type it up. Talk to ChatGPT like that's your girlfriend. Like, hey, ChatGPT, I just found this on my credit report, and I am upset that this is on there.
Yeah.
I need you to write me a dispute letter so I can submit to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. ChatGPT will write you a dispute letter, typing up all the information that you need. All you have to do is put it into a Word doc, print it out, sign it, submit it with your ID, your proof of address, your social security card. Wait 30 days, and then the credit companies are going, the bureaus are going to write you back, and based off of the response is how you know what to do next, right? So if they tell you, oh, this stuff has been verified, go back to ChatGPT and say, hey, they came back and told me this. What do I do next? And then you can now follow the steps, and you can take control for yourself. And now you're in position to where you are able to take action and fix your credit. Remember, a lot of these things are on your credit that should not be there, that you have a right to dispute. Late payments, charge-offs, collections. You can remove anything and everything off your credit. You're in control of your consumer report. It is yours. You actually have the position to dispute it. The FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, requires you to be able to dispute anything on your credit report. Once you have that in place, start your business. Start it. You can't depend on your 9 to 5. You have to put yourself in a position to where you're in control of your funding. Whatever idea, whatever mindset, or whatever thought that you have in place that you want to do it. Pray with God, have the confirmation with God on that piece, and then actually do it. And there's ways to do that. And I'll have resources on my page, right? So I'll link my page down there, resources and steps and free resources where you can have all the tools in place so you can start your business for free, basically, right? It doesn't cost you much other than some of the fees that come in when it comes to registering your business. So all those little pieces that you're able to do where it doesn't cost you much. You're not going to need thousands of dollars to do it, right? So you can go to, I think it's inkfile.com to really they'll walk you through on creating or establishing your LLC. The anytime mailbox, you can get your business address there. You can use Google Voice. You can use Ring Central. Ring Central is $9.99. You can use that to set up a business phone number. If you need to separate your phone number, you can do that. So setting up a Duns and Bradstreet, so DNB, go to dnb.com. You can set up a business credit with them, right? And having that established is key to getting approvals and getting your credit cards and things like that when it comes to doing things on your business side. Your EIN is completely free, going to irs.gov. All those steps can be lined up. As long as you have those 5 things in order, you're now have an established business, and you're in place to really start leveraging that to get capital in your business. Remember, the businesses were getting bailed out when it came down to the economy crashing. So if it were to happen again, you need to have a business in place to be able to prepare. It's not when you need it; it's now is the time.
Full of knowledge. That might have been a lot more than we anticipated. But you guys know you can always contact him to get more information. It might have been a little overwhelming, but it's full of knowledge. Like literally, it's life changing. And I'm so blessed to have you on this platform. And I definitely will have you back for sure, because why not? We need to learn, we need to be educated. And this is just what we need here in this society. So, how can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, underscore Credit Mike. That's one area to find me. LinkedIn, all areas you can find me underscore Credit Mike. You can reach me personal. This is my business number, and you can find me. It's 321-541-4336. Other ways is definitely online, and connect with me. Go through the bio. There are courses, there are trainings, there's opportunities to where you are able to do it yourself, and not depend on somebody else, right? So take advantage and reach out. I'm an open book. I'm willing to teach and learn. So, you guys reach out. So.
Beautiful. I thank you so much. Mike Charles is here. Your credit success partner, your credit partner, your credit guru. Yay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And you guys tune in, tap in with Amped Up Live. Catch you next time. Later.
Later. The biggest risk most entrepreneurs take is trying to build a business without the proper funding. And for many, that risk becomes a reality because their personal credit is not where it needs to be to get access to the capital they deserve. The truth is, you can bridge the gap between where your business is and where you want it to be by leveraging business credit. But if your personal credit is poor, almost every bank or lender will just deny you. I know this firsthand because not too long ago, I used my personal credit to secure funding to help me launch my own business, RSC Credit Freedom Solutions. And now I'm helping entrepreneurs just like you restore their credit and get access to funding they need to grow their business. You can be the next success story, unlocking 5 to 6 figures in funding. If you want to turn risk into reward, click the link above or below to get your free guide and take the first step towards building the business of your dream.